Now we're going to get into the portion of the show that I saved for near the end because I knew it would consume probably the rest of the show. Would be like whenever we talk about Roe v. Wade or abortion, it like turns into this major long conversation. And so I was like, if we open with this, it's going to be an hour of debating abortion. So I don't know. Maybe we should have. It's the bigger news here. But ladies and gentlemen, from CNBC, Supreme Court conservatives look ready to gut Roe v. Wade during arguments in Mississippi abortion case. It was today. Mississippi wants to ban abortions after 15 weeks, and the Supreme Court heard oral arguments, and boy, did the left have almost no argument. Look, you guys know me. I'm pro-choice. I am not pro-abortion. The modern left, in my opinion, is pro-abortion, not pro-choice, and pro-choice is few and far between if it exists at all. I think the pro-choice individuals have more in common with pro-lifers, but they do disagree. I heard some of the arguments. You could listen to it. Chief Justice Roberts made excellent points, and he did compare the U.S. to other countries, and he still made good points. The left seemingly had no real argument, and it got to the point where a reporter from Slate tweeted, the arguments are in. The Supreme Court will overturn Roe v. Wade in June 2022. He then deleted the tweet and said, too many people thought it was a statement of fact. He's like, what I'm saying is it's a prediction. These are leftist reporters. The NBC News tweeted, it appears the conservatives are going to repeal, something I'm paraphrasing, repeal or strike down Roe v. Wade. There are 12 states with what's called trigger laws, which means as soon as Roe v. Wade is overturned, they instantly go into effect. They've already been passed, and abortion will be immediately banned. It is believed that many more states will then ban abortion, and you will have blue states that allow it, red states that don't. I'm just going to say it again.
Go ahead.
We don't know what's going to happen. It might not. But based on what the justices were arguing, Kavanaugh, man, he hit it out of the park, and I have to agree with him. He said, I'll paraphrase. He was like, you haven't presented an argument as to why this is an issue for the Supreme Court.
Yes.
This sounds like something Congress needs to address. And I'm like, he's right. The Supreme Court shouldn't be deciding whether something is banned or not banned. Congress needs to pass laws legislating this stuff. On that alone, and also listening to the argument from the Solicitor General, who is like defending Roe v. Wade, she was just saying like the right to abortion is in the 14th Amendment. And I think it was Clarence Thomas who was like, what? I can read the Second Amendment that says something. I can't. I don't know what you're getting at with that. So yeah, this seems like the end. I know Luke was celebrating earlier.
I don't know about that. I saw some weird videos on Twitter today of women taking, I think it was abortion pills.
Claiming to or
doing it. I don't know, but it's such a complicated debate. There's so much emotion involved in this. And I don't think people celebrating abortions is something that is tasteful, to say the least. It's something that was very concerning to see. And, there's different aspects. There's different places where you could be on the spectrum here. And there's of course people arguing that if you do take an abortion, you are killing a life, and therefore you are trampling on somebody else's life. So that's where the argument gets complicated.
All right, Luke. So what's your position?
I honestly want to do more research into this. I don't want to make a conclusion because it's a question that's very difficult to answer. And not having done enough research on it, I don't feel well versed to espouse any opinions on it, to be completely honest with you.
So what you're saying is that you're sitting back as babies are being murdered, and you're okay with that?
There's a nice fence that I see here, and
No.
It's nice to sit on some fences sometimes.
There's no fence here.
But being honest here, there's things that I believe personally, and there's things I believe the government should be involved in. I don't think the government should be involved in anything. But people are arguing that when you're committing an abortion, you are killing another individual. And that argument is compelling to a lot of people. And I think it should be an argument that should be talked about more.
Well, I think cutoff time is important. Like after how many weeks? And I remain hesitantly pro-choice on this issue. I don't really publicly share my opinions on this like Luke here. But I think it's 12 weeks for when the baby has a heartbeat, I believe. That seems to be potentially a logical cutoff. Like after 12 weeks, then potentially maybe we shouldn't be able to, or maybe a bit after that. I don't know. But it's a matter of having a reasonable cutoff point, which we can debate about.
I know Luke's trying to be careful here, but the reason is before the show, he actually confirmed to me he's pro-death. Not actually pro-life at all. He's like, send them all to the camps, to the gulags. There's no fence on this issue. It's one of the hardest issues ethically. Yeah. But I was reading a lot about Roe v. Wade and the initial rulings. Basically, the idea is, it's insanely complicated. You can't. What they're saying is they don't want you to be able to abort after the fetus is viable, because at that point you're dealing with a self-sustaining, independent life. Before that, the baby is not able to live outside. So
how many weeks are we talking?
24 on. And I guess initially, during the initial arguments on Roe v. Wade, it was like 26 and beyond was viable. And now with medical technology, it's gone on to 24. Yeah. And so, pro-lifers are basically like, don't abort for any reason. And what's happening now in Mississippi is they're saying after 15 weeks, you can't get an abortion. John Roberts was talking to her name. What's her name? I can't remember her name. The Solicitor General. And he was like, if you're talking about the issue of choice, I don't understand how 15 weeks is not adequate time to make a choice. And she did not have an argument. Mm-hmm. And he brought up European countries. He said in many European countries, they have less time than we do. And then she lied and said, no, they allow abortion up to the point of viability.
That's not true.
And it's not true at all. Yeah, Europe is actually very strict. I think 12 weeks
Much
in
more
Europe.
so than the US.
Why have they chosen 15, by the way, here? What's the rationale behind 15?
That's the heartbeat, right?
Yeah, I think so.
15 is around the time. 15, 16 is around the time the heartbeat is detectable.
I thought it was 12 for heartbeat. But
maybe you're right.